Yo, what's up, guys? So we did get that new King's Legacy update 4 with Light and Dark Awakening. So let's go redo our tier list. All right, let's start off with the worst fruit in the game, the spin fruit. Oh my goodness, guys. It does have flight, but it is so trash and is not very good at damaging either. Please don't get this fruit. All right. Next up, we have Bomb. Now, apparently, Bomb does have an awakening, which is pretty sweet. Overall, it's definitely better than Spin Fruit, so we'll give it some credit. Next up, we have the Wolf Fruit. Oh my gosh, please don't get this fruit. It's the easiest, like, zone fruit, but, like, is it even a zone fruit, man? Come on. Just please pass up on this Wolf Fruit, guys. Not worth it at all. Next up, we have the Giraffe Fruit. Bro, I swear, man. King's Legacy and their fruits, dude. Oh my goodness. It's a slightly better version of the Wolf Fruit. So I guess we're gonna give it a C tier. But please, guys, unless you want to be a giraffe, it's a hard pass. Now we have Leopard. Now I know Leopard Fruit is really good in Blox Fruits, but unfortunately it's not the best otherwise than that. But it's a decent option. We're gonna give it solid B tier, maybe low C tier. All right, next up we have the Hito no Mi, or the Shroom Fruit. Overall, it's pretty decent. The problem is it is bad for PvP, but it is a good grinding fruit, so we'll give it some credit. I think I might even pick it over the Leopard Fruit. Next up we have Spike. Spike is really common, and it's also fairly solid. It's honestly a pretty good all-around fruit, so we're definitely going to give it a little bit better than fruit. Next up we have Barrier. It's more of a grinding fruit only, so we'll give it low B tier. Not very good at PvP. Next up we have the Paw Fruit. This one is decent. It is like not a common fruit though, so it's a little bit harder to get than the other ones we talked about, but overall it's fairly decent. It's a good choice if you're a new player. Next up we have Boa's Fruit. The Love Fruit. It's one of the better uncommon fruits, so we're gonna give it higher than the rest. It's even good for PvP because mainly it's because of the stun. Of course, guys, if you guys watch this show, it's pretty obvious that Boa would have a stun. So yeah, pretty good overall. Smoke Fruit. It is a Logia, so it's not too bad overall because of that for grinding. But it does require some skill though, but that's no problem. It's pretty close. This is definitely better for grinding though than the Love Fruit, so we'll give it there. All right, next we have the Spring one. The nice thing about Spring is its damage, but the problem is it requires a lot more skill than the other ones. It's harder to hit your target. However, it does have some really sweet combos, so we'll give it all right there. All right, next up we have the Shadow Fruit. It's decent overall for farming, but not the greatest. It's like good all around, but not really that highly recommended. I'll probably put it right around here. We're actually going to readjust. Might readjust a little. Thinking we just do that because we're kind of running out of space for a lot of it. Next up we have the Buddha Fruit. It's a pretty mid fruit. Definitely not as good as the Buddha Fruit in... What did I show? Yeah, in the Buddha Fruit in Blox Fruits. So we're going to probably put it fairly low here, maybe like right here. It is like pretty easy to aim though, so it's not too bad for grinding. It's more of a grinding fruit only with not a whole lot of PvP usage. Next up we have the Rubber Fruit with gear. However, you do need gear for this to actually be any good. If you also really want to have gear 4, otherwise it's pretty garbo. But if you do have gear 4, give it some credit. All right, I think let's do it. All right, I think that's fair. All right, next up we have the Sand Fruit. It's even rarer than the other ones. It actually is fairly decent, but it's not very mobile. So we'll probably put it like. Next up we have the Mammoth Fruit, mainly a beginner fruit because it's kind of like the Buddha Fruit, has really big damage and AoE. So we'll give it some credit here. but definitely not a PvP fruit. And it's a little bit harder to use if you're a beginner. All right, next up we have my fruit, the Spinosaurus fruit. Really good for PvP and farming. One of the better fruits in the game. Honestly, we might even give that fruit A tier. The only problem is the cooldowns kind of suck. Next up we have the Allosaurus. It's kind of mid. Next up we have the the Brachiosaurus. There's so many dinosaurs. I think they had a dinosaur update back in the day. It does have a health regen, which is pretty sweet. It's good for bosses, etc. Definitely one of the better fruits. We'll probably put it there in the A tier. Next up, we have Venom. It's one of the worst rare fruits. However, if you awaken it, it's pretty good. But so we're counting for the awakening. So factoring in the awakening, we'll give it B tier. All right, next up, we have the Gravity. Really good for raids and grinding, which is pretty sweet. We're going to give it high A tier there. All right, next we have the Opie fruit. It's pretty mid. We're gonna give it, and it also had a nerf, so we'll maybe give it like low B tier. The dark fruit did get an awakening, which is actually pretty freaking sweet, guys. I definitely recommend checking out the dark awakening as well as the light awakening. I definitely feel like they're going to be high A tier or S tier. However, you know, we're not 100% sure yet where they're going to end up. We're going to wait for some more combos, etc. to come out and see if they get nerfed or buffed a little bit after the update. Next up, we have the Rumble. It's good for raids, etc. We'll give it solid B tier. Next up, we have the Flame. Really nice damage and good flight, A tier. Magma, the great fruit for farms, etc. And does a good amount of damage. We're going to give it some A tier. Love. Next up, we have the Gas, guys. Gas from ASTD. Oh my goodness, if you follow my other channel. It's hard to hit. It's okay, though. It's solid mid fruit here. Next up, we have the Ice. It's pretty good, but it's not good for PvP. Solid B tier there. Next up, we have the Snow fruit. Definitely one more of the PvP fruits because of its stun. Pretty sweet. We're gonna give it solid, maybe low A tier for PvP. It's mainly like, it's a really popular bounty hunting fruit, so it's like one of the best PvP fruits. Next up, we have the Quake. It's really good, really good. Pretty much good for everything as long as it's awakened. And of course, guys, we are factoring in the awakenings here, so if a fruit has an awakening, we're ranking it based on the awakening and not just something. All right, next up we have the Spirit fruit. It has really nice damage, but the problem is its flight kind of sucks, but it's still pretty good. Phoenix got a nerf. Yeah, rip. Doe, definitely one of the best fruits in the game. Pretty much everybody uses this fruit. But you have to have the right combo, but duh. Then we have Dragon. I'm gonna probably say Dragon is definitely one of the better fruits as well. Probably gonna go like this. Dragon is just really good overall. Pretty much, it's like the best overall fruit, obviously, because it costs so much Robux. So there you go, guys. There is the tier list for King's Legacy Update 4. Hope you guys enjoyed.